Okay, 5,
4,
3,
2.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Tokyo Reds. We're Liverpool fans based in the land of the rising sun. And yeah, it's been a while, right? We've been away a little bit. Lots of things really. Holidays, hospitals, all kinds of madness, but just mad schedules and all that kind of stuff. But we're here now. Unfortunately, the Premier League isn't here anymore. That finished last weekend, so there we go. So yeah, first of all, thanks to everyone who subscribed over the season that we've been on. It's been pretty cool. It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. But yeah, what we need everyone to do is to share this video as much as possible. Do you know what I mean? So if you like the video, just share it to all your Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. Because with your help, we can hopefully make the channel grow and grow. So that'd be cool. So yeah, like I say, season's over. We're here today to basically review the season. So yeah, Tom, what was your thoughts on the season overall?
Overall, I was happy. To get back into the top four was a massive thing. If you'd said that at the start of the season, I would have jumped at it, especially after we finished 8th last year. And yeah, some of the other challenges that we're up against. I was happy. Obviously, getting top, we got excited. But yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed we didn't finish higher. But the way we finished was strong, and that's the most important thing. So overall, definitely happy with it.
Fair enough, yeah. John?
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because your expectations change over the season. I think at the beginning of the season I said we'd finish. I don't know if I said 3rd or 4th. We'll get that video out soon again. But I made up, the aim was to get back in the Champions League and get us playing good football again, and that's what we did. We had that blip in January, February, but besides that, you can't really fault them this season. It was great. Yeah, it was really good.
It was really good. To be honest, it was a minimum objective, right? Was to get top 4. We did it. Like you say, John. Like halfway through the season, we were like, right, probably going to win the league. We've got a good chance of winning the league, all that kind of stuff. And then January happened. Tom, what happened there?
I think, unfortunately, the other sides, they just realised defend against Liverpool. At the time, there was no plan B, because that formula had been working for us. We'd been really ruthless with a lot of teams like Watford 6-1, Hull 5-1. But teams were like, right, let's just defend. It's working. Let's keep doing it. And it was horrible. But you'd watch those games, you'd think, what can we do against these sides? It was painful. It's a blip. But the way we finished, I think we've learned from it, and especially the way we finished against Middlesbrough. But I'll go into that later.
Yeah, fair enough. I think, Mane obviously was a massive. We went off to the African Cup of Nations. We were flying, and then we couldn't even get a win. When he was away, really. So do you think that was it just that, or were there other sort of factors part of it as well?
Oh man, you need like a PhD in rocket science to work out what went wrong there, don't you? It was mental. It seems to be after we had that Christmas break, or like the Boxing Day period and stuff. It just went downhill. You can't blame not blame, but it can't just be Mane. Why we didn't succeed? It was. I think, like we said during that course of the videos, was we got sussed out. They figured out what was wrong, how to beat us, or how to contain Liverpool, but we couldn't figure out how to kind of counter that. So we just did the same thing week in, week out, and nothing really changed, and that's why the results just didn't go our way. And then Mane did come back and he did give us something extra, but I think the players knew that they had to kind of pick it up a bit more, if you know what I mean. Like, if you want to be in the Champions League, you want to be in the upper tier, you've got to just work it out for yourself sometimes on the pitch, and he really did it.
No, yeah, obviously, Mane's made such a difference to our side. Losing him was a massive, massive deal. I think Coutinho as well was kind of out of form at the time as well, and that obviously didn't help matters. So there we go. So anyway, we managed to get top 4, which is, how important is that going into the next season?
I think that's massive because, was it in the last 8 years, we've only got top four once. And that was the 2014 season. We went out the Champions League pretty quickly. But you realise when you're in the Champions League, so many players, they'll join you. Some players, if you're not there, it's like, oh, maybe I'll join Liverpool. We're still a massive club. Regardless, our history is there. We're still a massive club. But when you're not there, those top players, they might not come. And that's why I think it's huge for the summer transfer window, especially because Klopp, and it looks like we're moving forward. Because that's the thing, we've gone from 8th to 4th. Klopp, a lot of players like him. But again, sorry, I'm repeating myself a bit, but so many players like Klopp, they wanted to work with him. It was enough of a pull to have him there. But now to have Champions League, that's the extra thing to lure players. I think we can really get very strong this summer to get it back. And plus, just having those European nights back at Anfield, I just can't wait.
Yeah, no, me neither, mate. To be honest, I think getting top four was absolutely crucial. If we're going to build and progress the way we want to, we need to be playing in the Champions League now to get the players in. And the team is good, but the squad is probably not big enough, really, with the amount of quality that we need to play the Champions League and the Premier League as well. John, would it have been like if we'd have finished 5th, for example? How devastating would you reckon that would have been?
Massive. I think a lot of the players have been there for a while. Like, I mean, I know he didn't come out and say he would have left or something like that, but like the likes of Coutinho and like our top class players, like it probably would have been to them like, well, we're not really going in the right direction. We're not really moving forward enough for where I want to be, and it does make you wonder where would they go, would they stay, and who could we get as well to push us in that direction, But I think credit to FSG, they were a bit shaky at the start, but now it seems like they've sussed out what they need to do to take us even further. But I'm just so happy we finished in the top four, to be honest with you, because like you said, it brings just a better class of player. It opens new doors for a better squad and whatever. Like look up when we were in the Champions League, we could get half decent players, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it is absolutely massive. Do you know what I mean? Thank God we didn't lose out on it, because luckily Klopp seems to have worked out how to play against these lower teams as well. Do you know what I mean? Coutinho playing a deeper role, and who scored some decent goals at the end as well. So let's start talking about the season. Different parts of the season that we were happy with and then not so happy with. So first little section we're going to start off with is best match. So best result. What do you think might have been the most important game? It might have been like the most fun to watch. There's many different sort of versions that it can be to this. So it's quite a bit of a difficult question, really. But Tom, any ideas?
It was the one I watched with you and Paul. Two Pauls. You and Paul Lloyd. Liverpool Arsenal, first day of the season, the 4-3 at the Emirates. Of course, it was horrible at the end. But what was so encouraging to watch that? It's like, right, new start. We've got Klopp. It's his first full season. This is his team, and we're against Arsenal away. We don't normally win that fixture, not in recent years. We went there, obviously 4-3, 7-goal thriller. There was a penalty saved, but to go behind and then actually to be 4-1 up at the Emirates, it's just like, wow, all of a sudden you just got this incredible belief about Liverpool for the season ahead. It's like we're 4-1 up against the side that up until this season were consistently top four, a place that we didn't win. I think we've won at the Emirates once in maybe 10, 15 years before that. It was just incredible. And the goals as well, the goals that day, like Coutinho, amazing free kick, Lallana, who's the other one? Mane, when he's just, I think he he literally just destroys the Arsenal defence and just has this amazing finish. All of a sudden that belief was back, and it was like, all right, we're Liverpool. This season we're going to mean something. We mean business, and just incredible from start to finish. And of course, we finished 1 point above Arsenal. Yeah, so key looking back.
Really, really was a massive game, that, really, considering it was the first game of the season. So John, favourite game of the season?
I was going to say the Arsenal one. It was either the Arsenal one or the 0-0 draw against Man United. That was thrilling stuff. That I think another game that was really good to watch was the Watford game, the 6-1. Yeah, because Liverpool's problem, and it still was actually, before the game it wasn't as evident, but like our problem for years has been lower teams breaking down lower teams. And we absolutely battered them in that game, and it showed that what we could really do, and it just gave you such a boost for the rest of the season, because you thought, like, Watford are no mugs, like, but they're not exactly challenging, and we absolutely destroyed them. I can't remember who scored because I was going to do the Arsenal one, but no, I'm joking. But yeah, I think that was amazing, that game.
Yeah, no, I was going to say the Watford one, like, to be honest, but there we are. If I have to choose another, I'm going to say the 1-0 away at Goodison Park, just because, like, it wasn't the best game ever, but it was just so mint the way we won it, like, and it just kind of rubbed their faces in when they were really pissed off as well, and that was always good. That was always good, and I just love the way the travelling cop just went mental as well, and at the end, and it was just dead funny, wasn't it?
I'll just throw in on that because local time in Japan, that was like 5 a.m. kickoff. So that was literally 7 a.m. It's like, oh, stayed up, we're going to draw. Mane just gets in there. Rest of the day I was buzzing on about 2 hours sleep. Still went to work, everything. But
it does make a difference, doesn't it? It does make a difference. So, okay, so this one is another difficult one, I'll be honest. There are some obvious choices. This is best player of the season. Interesting. Tom?
Do you want to go to John first?
Okay, go on then. Okay, John.
I think it'd be pretty obvious. Go to Tom first.
I'll start with me first. How about that? I'm going to go with Coutinho, to be honest. Scored a lot of goals, made a lot of assists, and he was mint. And obviously, when Mane was out injured at the end of the season, he's the one that scored loads of important goals. He's just world class. Well, he's almost world class, I should say. Really, this next coming season, I think he is going to become in that sort of echelon. But for me, Coutinho is absolute dynamite, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, he's probably not going to be the most popular. It might not be the most popular choice, to be honest. But I just think for most of the season, he has been awesome. He had a bit of a dip, and he had a bit of an injury, sort of when we were shit, start of the year and whatnot. But I just think he's pulled us through the shit at the end of the season, really, to be honest. Right, Tom.
It's a difficult one. I'm going to go for Mane, though. It's got to be Mane. And again, I know he's won Liverpool Player of the Year, etc. And he's just been incredible. I think his first season, he was very quick to settle in. So that's the thing. New player, yeah, they might be good elsewhere, but can they adjust to our tactics? He's fitted into Klopp's style really well. He's been so important. Every match when he's starting, I mean, we say when he went off to the African nations, there was a real worry. There was a real worry of actually kind of, is there going to be like a loss of confidence? Are we going to be as strong in attack? Because he's got a real physical presence. Some of the goals he scored that were so key. And also just his strength as well. Like, say we're playing a West Brom or a Crystal Palace or a Man United where they just go ultra defensive. His strength in those positions are so key. I think he's been excellent. And yeah, not so much world-class goals in the way of like Coutinho, but just over the season his work rate's key, assists, and I love his, I love like his, what's the right word? His haircut, yeah, that too. I would if I could, but yeah, no, I just think he's been key. Sorry.
Oh, fair enough. No, it's fresh out completely. John?
Yeah, I was going to go the same, Mane. No, but also as well that Tom didn't touch on is how well he breaks the defence apart. He's really good at kind of, because he's so quick, he can take the centre-back out of position really easily, or the wing-back, and so people start chasing him because he moves so quick, nobody really knows what to do with him. So then he drags the players away, and then, it lets other players get in to score goals. And like Tom said, he doesn't score any world-class goals, but he does score some really important goals. And, he was one of the players who, he's probably going to get you your first goal in the game, and then as soon as you've got that, that's just when like the floodgates open, and that's probably why we did so well with Mane, because a lot of the games he did score first, or at least assisted the first goal, and then after that, teams are playing catch up, and then that's when we can really hit our stride, because they've got to come to us. So I think that's what he brought to us that we haven't had for a while. So yeah, I think he was our best player, but it's weird because like I think Coutinho, if you know what I mean, like they're both our best players, but for different reasons. Yeah. I think overall, Mane brought a lot more than he had more attributes than Coutinho. Like, it's what Coutinho does, he's class at. But Mane can do a little bit more than that as well, you know. I think what he's missing more is like his penalty, free kicks. But Coutinho's, you know, it's difficult to choose between them, to be honest with you.
It is. I mean, there's some other shouts. You know, you could say you could easily put Lallana probably in there as well. Thought Mignolet was really, really good, but we'll come on to Mignolet in a bit. James Milner, to be honest, you know, he wasn't amazing, but he's playing at left back all season, and he did a pretty good job, to be fair. But there we go. So the next one, there is one really, really, really obvious answer. I'm just going to say it now. It's Emre Can's goal against Watford was best goal of the season. Okay, let's just get that out. It was. Okay, technically, definitely. You know. So we're not going to go with that. We're going to say another one. So you got to think of another one that isn't the Can goal, because it's just too obvious, guys. Let's be honest. It is that, but we're going to discuss some other ones. Basically, I'll go first. I'm going to say with what's his name now? Actually, I'm not going to go with me because I completely forgot. So, John, what was your best goal of the season?
Difficult. Well, I'm sure it's the season. It was just. It's fucking the season's been going on forever, hasn't it? Henderson against Chelsea.
Bollocks.
Yeah.
It was class.
It's just an absolute worldie, isn't it? Yeah. It's outside the box as well, isn't it? He just kind of, that touch and
Right into the top corner.
Yeah,
as well.
Stinks her over. It's an amazing goal. I had a different one actually. I was thinking of, but I couldn't remember who it was against.
We'll come back to you, John.
Yeah, exactly.
Tom?
I was going to go with Henderson as well. The one that's coming to mind, sorry, I'm obsessed with the Arsenal match. Coutinho's free kick. I mean, the thing is, there were so many goals, and because it was the very first game, it's such a distance away. Whereas, like Can, that was a handy thing. It came in, our last 4 matches he scored that. And obviously it was the best, but Coutinho's free kick against Arsenal, the distance that he's at, and the accuracy, the power, it was no problem. It's just no problem at all. It's just stunning. For me, that would have to be the one, but Henderson, definitely, that was amazing.
Henderson's goal was absolutely incredible. Coutinho's goal was absolutely incredible. Mane's goal in the same game, to be honest, was mint when he took it past like 3 or 4 of their defenders and banged it into the top bin. Another good one was, what's it called? Well, one of the strikes of the season anyway was Firmino's goal against Stoke. You know, he just like Wijnaldum plays that ball over and just like smashes it into the ball. That was pretty cool. But yeah, we scored a lot of good goals. What can I say? So okay, the next one's a bit vague, to be honest. Best moment of the season. So it might have been something that made you laugh, made you smile, made you cry, whatever, made you scream. Quite a lot of things made me scream during this bloody season because it's been pretty crazy. Yeah, Tom.
Best moment. I don't want to steal anyone else's moments, but yeah.
You can see that we don't actually discuss these things before. It'd probably be a good idea if we did that, to be honest. But it's all improv. Yeah. It's the way we like it.
It's natural. We're just authentic. We're not actors. But for me, in terms of the moment, it's got to be Mane Goodison. It's got to be that moment, because it's like we're going from 1 to 3 points against Everton. It's Merseyside derby. To beat them is always, it's just a great feeling, because they played for a draw that game. And just the way was it like the 3rd, 4th minute of injury time that goes in? It's like 7 minutes up or something. And literally what I love about that moment is the way Sturridge has come on. He hadn't played much. He's had the shot and you're thinking, is that good? No, okay, it's hit the post. And it's just that kind of, it felt like probably about a minute or 5 minutes to the ball's just rolling out. It's like Everton keeper, Everton defender, or Mane. And if Mane gets that, that's it. We've won this derby. And he's got it. It's just a great feeling. Honestly, I was buzzing for the week after that. I'm still buzzing now about it. So it's like
fair enough. Yeah, John.
Best moment. You know what? Not because it's recent, but because it kind of cemented our place. Maybe Coutinho's free kick against Middlesbrough, to be honest with you, because as soon as that second goal goes in, it's like, yeah, that's it now. Middlesbrough didn't play well anyway, but it's kind of still, you get flashbacks of like Crystal Palace and stuff like that. So I thought, as soon as that win, I was like, that's it, we're in the top 4, and we finished 4th. That was great. Even actually Wijnaldum's goal for that one, it was a good feeling, but that was just like when I felt at calm. You know what I mean? And that was great. I don't know, though. I want to say something a bit better than that, but
it wasn't. there weren't that many standout real moments, really, like games or whatever. Do you know what I mean? We didn't win any trophies and whatnot. It's really just the whole game, really. But the 3-1 against Arsenal at home impressed me a lot, and Spurs as well.
Yeah, 2-0.
2-0 against Spurs. Yeah, those two games, I just thought, yes, like we are pretty decent. Do you know what I mean? You know, we did so well against the top teams. You know, we didn't lose to any of them. So if I had to pick one, it probably would be the third. You know, Wijnaldum's goal. Again, in the third, the third goal in that Arsenal game, that was just sound. So I mean, I was like, yes, we've done them. So that's pretty cool. Okay, next one, not necessarily the best player, but the most improved player from the last season going into this season. There's a couple of good shouts. Really, it's quite a difficult choice out of two, in my opinion. John, who are you going with?
Yeah, there's a few, isn't there? I think the top three would be Mignolet, Lovren, and Lallana. I'm going to go for Lallana, because the thing that was missing the most from his game was goals. And when he had some stellar goals this season.
Against Leicester was a beast.
Yeah, but even against Arsenal as well, and that last one against Middlesbrough, I think he loses it twice maybe, but he still keeps on persevering, keeps on going, and then gets that third goal. But yeah, he's become a right decent sign, and now it looks like he's almost invaluable to the side, isn't he? Reminds you of like Joe Cole before his legs went. So for me, I think Lallana. I think we were missing goals, and he really stepped up this season. His work rates is phenomenal, isn't it?
He has been very, 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 very good indeed. Tom?
I mean, same with like Mignolet, Lovren, Lallana, but the one I would go for is actually Emre Can. I just think, I think like last season, he always had a mistake in him. Every match, even when he was doing something right, he was doing something wrong in the same game. Everton, of course, comes to mind. This season, there were a couple of mistakes, and at times I was getting on his back a bit. But especially in the last half of the season, when it's really counted, I mean, see, Watford, or that comes to mind. But his overall game, you feel much safer with him on the ball. He's very good at keeping possession. I think his tackling's improved, and also I just think his awareness and his mind. He looks a lot more. A lot calmer on the ball. Because previously, I think he was always panicking, and I definitely think he could get in the squad that we got now. He could definitely be a regular in the first 11. I think he's really come on. That would be my shout.
I think that's a really good shout, mate. Emre Can, I've never been his biggest fan, but now I am. Maybe not his biggest fan, but I'm a fan of him, which is saying quite a lot.
I think the thing with Can was, I felt kind of almost a bit sorry for him, because when he first came into the team, he's never really been played in his position where he's like a natural position, and I think Klopp saw that now, trying to play him further in centre midfield, it wasn't really working out, and now playing him a bit deeper, he still has that chance to go forwards, but he's just kind of found where he's supposed to be, like his natural fit, and that's why he is so much better now, because he's playing a natural role, and it's just it's what he is used to doing, and that was a really good shout, actually. I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
I think he needs, because we've always said that he's not the most mature of players. He needs more discipline, and I think if you just give him a set place where he's comfortable, he can then spend the time maturing into that role, and he can be a really, really good player for Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? He really, really can. But I'm gonna have to go with Mignolet, boys. I'm sorry. I'm so impressed by his season. Every time we played either him or Karius at the start of the season, I was like, shit, I wish we had a decent goalkeeper. But I have to say, Simon Mignolet has been awesome this season. By far the best season he's had. And maybe, who knows, Alex Manninger could have been the reason why. He could have, really, really helped him in training and all that. And he's a very experienced goalkeeper, obviously now just retired. And who knows, that could have been the reason. But fair play to Mignolet, he's proved a lot of people wrong. And I'm not that worried about goalkeepers for next season, really, now, to be honest. So there we go. Okay, so we've talked about the players, we've talked about the games. Let's talk about the manager. Obviously, there's quite a lot to talk about with Klopp. There's the signings and his general performances, in-game performances and whatnot. What are your thoughts on Jurgen Klopp this season, Tom?
I think he's done really well. It's his first full season in the Premier League, and to get a top four finish in your first season, when you look at what we're up against in terms of the other teams, in terms of the other managers, etc., that's been really impressive. He's taken us 4 places up in the league from last season. In terms of his style, I think his style has been excellent. I really like the gegenpressing. Obviously, at times we got found out, and we had to get around that. But despite the bad January, he's helped us. He's helped us get in the top 4. And in terms of signings, for me, probably the biggest signing, the best signing has been Soki's Wijnaldum. I think he's been excellent. In terms of his performances, everyone jokes he can't score away from home, but he scores when it counts at home, as you were saying with the Middlesbrough game. Wijnaldum's been excellent for the midfield. He's been excellent in terms of supporting the attackers. And I just feel like, he's one of those, he can have the big moments, but he's just been excellent linking between the attacks and the midfield throughout the season. But Karius, he's young. I think give him time. Obviously, he's only had a couple of games. He was unlucky. Well, I'd say unlucky against Bournemouth. He just had a bad day. But definitely for the future, give him more time.
Yeah, fair enough. John?
Yeah, going back to Wijnaldum, he's really good at, especially dispossession. That's what I was really impressed with him. And this whole gegenpressing thing is getting the ball back as fast as you can in numbers, basically. And he was so good at doing that. So good at dispossessing and winning the ball back. And even like you said, when he wasn't having a good game, he was just having an average game. And because of the position he plays, all right, you want goals, but his main job isn't to get goals. His job is to link it up. And if he was having a bad game, again, he wouldn't really have many bad games. He just have a lot of average games, which is probably what you want in that position. Either have a really good game or kind of an average game. And I never thought at any point in the season, oh God, get Wijnaldum off. Yeah. It was always just like, oh well, it's not really working out for Firmino, it's not really working out for Coutinho or Lallana. But I never thought that about Wijnaldum. I was never like, maybe because we've got no one else in those positions, but I wasn't like get him off and get, I suppose it'd be Chan, but even that actually I wouldn't mind. But yeah, so I was really impressed with Wijnaldum. But again, Mane. To be fair as well, Klavan did a job when he came on, I thought obviously not the best centre-back in the world, but yeah, he did a job. Yeah, he's quite comfortable with Lovren, and yeah, so I think they all played their part. Karius, wasn't bad, but he needs time. He should never have started in the Premier League anyway, and there's too much pressure on his shoulders to start straight away, and it wasn't really fair from the beginning with him.
No, that's fair enough. Like, Karius was one of them, wasn't it? They had to throw him in the deep end to see what he could do. It didn't work. Mignolet came in, and like I said, Mignolet was, in my opinion, our most improved player. The signings on the whole, though, were really, really good. Klavan was okay, did all right. He was fourth choice centre-back. He made a couple of mistakes here and there, but overall he was all right. Matip was decent. I've really been impressed with Matip. Very calm on the ball. Good defender, basically. Good in the air as well. Unlucky not to score against West Ham in the game before last. Mane was just a dream. 30 million. At the time, we were like, oh, that's mental, but it looks like an absolute snip now, to be honest. I'm Wijnaldum, I love him. Absolutely love him. And he's got a boss chant as well.
I was going to say on that, the thing is, what's been so kind of impressive with this summer, the last one just gone signed, was there's no actual stinkers. It seems to be our trouble for years that we've gone out and paid for, we've got 5 players in, and maybe one of them or 2 of them have been all right. But this year it was like there was no bad ones. It was kind of, there was, 1 average one and 2 average ones maybe, and then 3 class ones. Like Matip is on a free. It's almost criminal.
Definitely. Okay, well, that's the positives. Done. Let's have a bit of a talk about the negatives, because there were, and we need to talk about the negatives, because there were some negatives. We finished 4th. That's why, if there weren't any negatives, we wouldn't have finished there, would we? So there's a few to choose from here. I'm not going to swear. I'm going to try not to anyway. Tom, worst game of the season. There's a few.
Yeah, quite a few came to mind there, and it's not easy. The one that The one I think, for me, not just because it was the first defeat, but because of what happened after, actually be Bournemouth. That would be my worst, because we were in a winning position. We were 2-0 up, and we've lost the match 4-3. We've lost it to late goals, careless defending. I think that did a lot of damage to the team psychologically at that time. And Karius as well, unfortunately, he was getting a run of games, and he did make mistakes in that match. I think for me though, the reason that's the worst is because we were 2-0 up and we were cruising. If we were drawing 0-0 and we went on to lose by that score, that's different. But to actually lose when you've got a 2-goal advantage, that really winds me up. To have even drawn that game would have been a disappointment. And plus the amount of chances we had, we could have put the game out of sight. We really could have. Looking back, we could have probably been 3 or 4 up on about 60 minutes, and we weren't. And that was just, I'd say that was our careless defending. And yeah, even thinking about it now is winding me up a bit. So I'll stop.
Yeah, no, it did make me very, very angry, that game. John?
Yeah, the same really. That's kind of where it all began as well, wasn't it? Because we got into a rut, and then we just couldn't seem to get ourselves out of it. And it was just weeks of just like losses and sloppy. It was just sloppy. That's what it really was, and we're so much better than that. So I think the Bournemouth was the biggest one, to be honest. But you can take your pick what you want from that window. One that was, I think that's just the story of the season, though. It was just, and for the last few years, it's just been like shocking defending. You know what I mean? It's like our heads will go a bit, and I know we're only playing one holding midfielder between the defence and the midfield and the attacking, so it's harder to defend, But still, it's kind of shouldn't fall apart that easily, And yeah, what was it Hull? 2-0. That was probably the one for me as well, where it was just like you could see what was happening. Watching the game, you could see Hull knew exactly what to do. And they sat back and they just waited. It was like 2 counters. They only had like 2 shots, didn't they? And they scored both of them. And I think that's what it was so clear to see what our issues were for us as fans, and it must have been clear for them as managers and whatnot. And the whole one really did it for me, because it was like something's got to change now, and it did eventually. But it was just really, like you say, Tom, it was just frustrating to watch because, yeah.
I think at the time, I was mostly pissed off after the Swansea game, which is quite obvious if you watch our videos back. I was very, very, very angry about that one. But in hindsight, as a season review, the Burnley game has to be it for me. Like, just infuriating to the fact that we broke a record, like the highest amount of possession to lose the game. I think it was over 80% possession or something like that we had, or something, around 80%. It's just ridiculous, and it was the start. It was the first loss of the season as well. We had a really difficult start to the season. Won all those away games. Won, and I went to Burnley, thought, yeah, sound, and we lost, and I was just like, And that kind of started the hoodoo against the smaller clubs, and yeah, the Burnley game was just, we were just shit. It was all dead shit, just passing the ball around. Coutinho like putting balls in Rosette like every shot, and just really infuriating. I'm so glad that we don't have to play them for a few months, to be honest. So yeah, now this one's a bit harsh really, because I don't think that many players have really played badly at all, but we have to kind of choose one. Worst player of the season. It's a bit harsh. Well, I think everybody knows who they're going for straight away. We're all going for Alberto Moreno, let's be honest. Like, do you know what I mean? Well, fuck it. It's Alberto Moreno.
Say why though?
Why is Alberto?
Because he's shit. No.
So the next one.
No. I think what it was is like after that Europa League final, it was like, well, you're just terrible. You know what I mean? And you thought, give him one more season. And the fact that Klopp wouldn't, the fact that we had an aging centre midfielder playing at left back all season shows you how unreliable he was. And even when he was brought on when we were, comfortably winning games, he just brought nothing. And I'm going to say it, I know I'll probably get shit for it, but that open goal as well, it was just kind of, come on, man, that was your chance to shine. And being paid that much money a week, you think you should be able to bang that in. And he scored a good pre-season goal against Sydney, but I think it's exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. Is there anybody else? Is there any other people that could get in there, or who's an dishonourable mention, or because I can't think of that many, to be honest.
I can't either. I mean, no, I really can't. Moreno just dominates.
That's probably like
It's a good sign.
a good sign of like kind of Klopp's decision making, because pretty much like if you were to put a list of our underperformers or worst players, you'd probably have on there like the likes of Markovic and stuff and all like that, and they're nowhere to be seen this season. They've just been shipped out, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of, it's a good sign, but yeah, I think it's one of them as well at the moment with Liverpool. We're either really we've got a few really good players, but the rest of this kind of average. They don't excel, but they don't do badly as well. I think that's probably a concerning sign as well.
I think if I was going to go on most disappointing player, this might be really harsh, and it probably is a bit harsh, but I've got to turn to two of our strikers, to be honest. Like Origi didn't have a very good season, if I'm honest. He scored some goals, but he wasn't. I expected him to really, really step up. He hasn't had that many games, to be honest. Firmino's obviously been played more in centre forward, but Origi wasn't great. Sturridge has obviously been fucking injured all fucking season and whatever. We'll speak to him in the next fucking video. Sorry, I started swearing now because he angers me quite a bit, to be honest, sometimes. And yeah, but and Karius as well obviously wasn't great. He was all right in the cup games. When he came back, he seemed to do a lot better. Yeah, and he's young, man. You got to give him time. Like, there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, let's just get rid of him. You know what I mean? But nah, man. Like, what is he? 23? Nah, man. We got plenty of time. Plenty of time to. He shows that he's obviously a good goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, he wouldn't have played where he's played. He wouldn't. Klopp wouldn't have rated him. But we've got to give him time, let him develop, and thankfully Mignolet has actually done pretty well, so it's all right. But it is quite harsh. Moreno obviously hasn't played that many games this season, but there's a reason for it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. It's like when your competition is a centre midfielder, you know what I mean? It's like it is meant to show the professionalism there. I'm surprised he didn't go out when Sacco went as well, to be honest with you. Maybe he's slightly more professional than Sacco, but he probably worse than him, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, it's just shite, isn't he? Unfortunately, but there we go. Cool. Okay, so where did Liverpool go from here then, Tom?
We go. They've got. I mean, obviously, like Lucas has gone now, hasn't he? He's pretty much.
Lucas gone?
I think he's going off. He's not been given a new contract.
Okay. I've not heard anything about that.
Right. I don't have it officially, but that seems to be.
Fair enough.
Like,
You've heard it. You've heard it first.
Right, and if not, I'm going to apologise profusely. But
I think he's. Yeah, we'll talk about it. In a minute. To be fair, like we're going to in our next video is going to be sort of talking about the transfer, who should go, stay, and all that kind of stuff. So we don't need to go too much into that. But I think just in general, where do you think we should go from here? Not so much of personnel wise, but
not so much personnel. I actually think keep with the same style, the style that we finished off with. I feel like we're going to go forward now because going into the Champions League, I feel like we're only going to get stronger. Obviously, sorry, not going to mention people, but in terms of just getting a bigger squad, getting a bigger squad.
Sorry, how many players do you think we need to get in?
I reckon about 4 or 5. To be honest, I think 4 or 5 because you could see because Klopp's style, our players do tire a lot, and even though think about this season, we got to the semi-finals of the League Cup, but we didn't have European competition, and we still picked up a lot of injuries. You still saw the fatigue at times. I reckon 4 or 5 players, but definitely the same style. That style is working, and I've seen a lot of pundits say if Klopp keeps that style in Europe against the top teams, that's actually going to go for our benefit, as we've seen against teams like Chelsea, against Arsenal, against Tottenham. We didn't lose those sides. We went out and beat them. So actually, I think our style is, that's right, don't change it. Yeah, I definitely think keep how it is. But sorry.
No, fair enough, cool. John, yeah, Tom saying 4 or 5 players. Do you think he's bang on? Do you think we need more, less? What do you reckon?
I think you've got to look at it in terms of like net. So basically, I think if we come plus 5 players basically, and that includes people going out. So you know, even if that means like, sounds like a lot of players, but about 7 players or something like that over going backwards and forwards, because the first team needs holes plugged in. We need to get rid of a few people, and then you need some squad players as well. It's kind of a pity we lost Joe Allen, because he could have. It is what it is, but in terms of performance-wise, yeah, like you said, you know, with this style, we didn't lose to the top 6, 7 sides, 7. Yeah, top 7. No, top 6 sides. Sorry. Yeah, we didn't lose. You know. Yeah. Yeah, but we're in the top 7, aren't we? Should be top 6 because we lost Southampton. That was the yeah. Sorry.
We didn't lose, I don't think, to like top 10, I don't think.
Oh yeah, we did, didn't we? But there you go. You know, so like the best teams in the we didn't lose against the best teams. It was, so you've got to think, if you go in the Champions League, that's still that it's knockout football, isn't it? So I think we thrive on those. We thrive on those games where it's you bring your best and we'll bring our best, and we seem to just bring the best out of ourselves, to be honest with you. So.
Yeah, man, I think it's, you know, we've got a huge summer ahead of us. We're obviously going to sign a lot of players. I think we'll bring 6 or 7 in, to be honest. A lot of players will go, but most of the players that will go didn't have play at all last season, or, you know, very, very rarely. Moreno, Sturridge, probably will come on to that. And the players that actually did play in the league, in the team, that will probably go. But we'll discuss all that in the next video. So yeah, overall, good. We're all pretty happy. We're happy, obviously, we've got Champions League next season, but we're definitely looking forward to another improvement next season. Hopefully we can challenge for at least a trophy, you know what I mean, and staying in that top 4, you know what I mean. It's all very important. So yeah, let us know in the comment section below, what did you think of the season? It was pretty decent, I thought, to be honest, overall. Yeah, and once again, if you like the video, please share the video, and yeah, let everybody know that Tokyo Reds are back, and we're on for bigger things for next season. We've got some really, really good ideas. The format is going to change a little bit, but it's going to be really good, so stay tuned.
Also as well, next season and stuff, we're aiming for more consistency. You know, I mean, we're not making excuses, but obviously it's all new to us as well, so we didn't really, it was scheduling and stuff. It was hard to plan, basically, but we've sorted that out now, and hopefully, yeah, we'll see us on time on a fixed schedule, maybe.
You definitely will, and that's very important to say as well. And not only that, like, better stuff, more quality stuff. So
I'll just throw in, well done to Paul. He's done some incredible agendas. You've done brilliant as a host as well. John, great editing. I just turn up. Like, and I don't even give a good opinion. That's my job, and I still do a terrible job. No, you guys have done brilliant, and thanks to everyone who's been watching. It's been a pleasure.
You shouldn't sell yourself out too much, Tom. You know what I mean? You've done very, very good.
But yeah, you shouldn't say.
I completely agree myself, but you know, you shouldn't say those bad things about yourself. Yeah, so yeah, if you liked it so far, it's only the first season, guys. You know what I mean? Second season, stronger, bigger, stronger. Hopefully Liverpool are too.
It's like empires, mate. It just gets better.
Do you know what I mean? Rome wasn't built in a day and all that. So yeah, drop us a like, comment, let us know what did you think about the season overall, and share the video as well, please, if you can. Yeah, and we will see you for talking about transfers and all that. What should we do and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Up the Reds.